Merlin's beard. So look, all right. I open up the door where his feet are. Okay, he manages to somehow spring forward, push himself through, and lands right on the asphalt, just destroying his face. Somehow he's not bleeding anywhere. Okay, he's completely limp in front of the Red Roof Inn parking lot or lobby, excuse me. And there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm like, okay, Steph, I need your help. You gotta help me get him up and get him on my shoulder. We go for it. One time, she's not strong enough. Moving forward, I get the taxi driver. Okay, he helps me get him up. Okay, Maven's just completely limp. He's just like, there's nothing he can do. He's basically the biggest burden I've ever had in my entire life. All right, so I finally get him over my shoulder. All right, I'm coming through. I'm basically Saving Private Ryan. Right, so that makes me Tom Hanks. Right, I'm trucking through. I got him over my shoulder. I get into the lobby. What does he do? Right, security guards are around. Hits me square in the dick. I drop him. He busts his head. I'm in pain. There's nothing I can do. I'm just keeled over. All I'm doing is cursing, right? So it makes the situation entirely worse, right? So you got 3 drunk people, okay? One completely just annihilated because he was roofied, right? Like, he has no recollection of anything, right? And he's passed out on the floor. So I go, okay, what's the one thing I can fucking do right now? I'm panicking, right? So I'm holding my nuts. I'm trying to make sure that Maven doesn't get arrested and I don't get arrested. And a security guard walks by. And I'm like, excuse me, sir, is there any way, like, you can help me with him? Like, I know it looks terrible. I'm pretty sure he was drugged. I just got to get him up to his room. The guy fucking brings over a luggage rack, right? So it's like the bellhop luggage racks. And he's like, put him on here. And I go, all right, fuck it. So, hold the phone right now. Before we get him in there, I noticed the top of his balding head, where there's just like a couple strands, is cut and bleeding profusely, right? Like, that is what I'm working with right now. Like, it is coming down his head. Like, he doesn't need staples, but it's coming down because he's been drinking, right? So his blood's a little bit thinner and he's just bleeding now. So, now, bring it forward now, right? So, I grab his legs, the security guard grabs his arms, we throw him on the luggage rack. We're pushing him. Steph and I now are pushing him into the elevator. We push him in the elevator. His head slams against the side. Blood is just trailing across the elevator door. Right? So now we finally get to our floor. Right? We push him out. He's so limp that there's nothing he can do. And I don't even know why I have these in moving forward. There's nothing he can do. Right? And I'm like, well, fuck him. Right? Like, he's just going to do him. I'm pissed off at this point. He throws his head against the wall as we're pushing it. And there's just blood from the beginning of the elevator all the way down to his floor, which was like 513, 523, something like that. So there's a long trail of blood. And I'm just like, well, I'm not cleaning that up. And that is just the tip of the story. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gandhi's Thoughts, brought to you by My Nutrition. I am Gandhi, and today we are going to be going over one of the team changes. Actually, it's not really a team change, it's more of like a team formed that I was super excited about, and that's going to be Final Boss. Now, Final Boss is going to be a team with a shit ton of history. This team was formed originally in 2006, back in the glory days of Halo 2. This name alone has, let's think, it has 2006 National Championship, 2007, and 2010, when the name was retired at the beginning of the 2011 Pro Circuit. Now, with that said, this team was led by Ogre 2 throughout the time, and guess what? He is still a part of the team. Ogre 2, the most winningest player in FPS history, is still going to be on this roster. He played a little bit of COD going, and by COD I mean a little bit of COD Ghost going in to Columbus. Columbus is his hometown, so he's figuring, you know what, I'll throw a team together and see how things go. He understands COD. He was on that grind in Black Ops 2 for COD Champs, which he did make. He was teaming with Mr. X and 2 other guys. Everyone remembers the Rage Nation crew. So Ogre 2 understands how to play COD. Now, someone who doesn't and is completely new to the whole Call of Duty scene is going to be I Got Your Pistola. Pistola is a complete fucking savage, right? We've called him the Wizard. Everyone knows he's just the worst person to kill because he always manages to stay alive, and everyone always kind of wonders, like, how the fuck is this even possible? Right? And somehow, some way, he just does things. So the transition for Pistola into Call of Duty is going to be very interesting, but I can tell you what, his gun skill is going to be so fun to watch. I think his biggest problem, which is going to be every Halo player's biggest problem switching from Call of Duty on over, is getting used to search and destroy, right? Like, you got to play a little bit like a pansy in some scenarios. You just have to. It's how it works. And, there's a lot of times where Halo players are like, I don't play like a pansy. I am going to reach up my skirt and grab my testicles. So that's going to be interesting for Pistola to see how that works. Coming down the line, though, we do have Snipe Down. Snipe Down is every noob's dream. Snipe Down is a player who, when he started off his career, basically came in, he had one good video where he had 100% hit percentage in a Halo 2 FFA, and everyone's kind of like, what the shit, man? This is fucking bonkers. Way to have host, right? So he comes out in the 2008 Halo 3 season, plays his top 8 his first event, and then from there he's just a glorified pro with one of the best snipers in Halo history. How's this going to switch over to Call of Duty? Well, I think his shot is going to be one that is going to be rivaled. That's going to rival a lot of the top player shots. He's got consistency. The only thing I'm worried about with Snipe Down, though, and it is how it is if he's hungry or not, right? Like, the one thing about Eric is that he gets complacent. I mean, if you look at Halo 3, his respected game in 2010, he didn't have the best year. Not for Snipe Down standards, at least. But it is important to note, then this is something that I think is cool. Snipe Down has been on every major Halo team ever now. Every name. He's been on Straight, he's been on Triggers Down, he's been on Carbon, he's been on Ambush. I don't even know. I think the only one he actually hasn't been on is the Agency. But now he's on Final Balls. Like, it's really cool. So, good job, Eric. Way to be a big team whore, you piece of shit. I'm kidding. I love you, buddy. I can't wait to see you. Anyways, moving forward. Royal 2 is going to be their 4th member on this squad. Royal 2 is going to be the curly-headed one with the face in the yellow striped and gray shirt. I really have no idea how to describe him. He's that one, but he's next to Enable. So, Royal 2 is just I don't know how to explain it, but he just kills everything in sight. Like, that's what he's really good at. His one trait is that he can outshoot just about every single person out there. He's young, he's full of talent, and he's full of drive. Now, he didn't want to compete in Halo 4 just because he was like, well, what the hell's the point? It's only AGLs, and I understand that, and he's coming all the way from Canada. I was always looking forward to him picking up the controller, but it is what it is. So you are basically assembling 3 people, well, really 4 people with complete natural talent at every single video game they've ever touched, and putting them on one team and basically saying, listen, you have until January 4th to get all of your shit together because you guys are going to be competing at UMG Philly versus the best of the best. And before I get over about my predictions, I just got to say one last thing. Fuck you, NASA. NASA is going to be their coach. That is going to be Tyler Hoyt. Tyler Hoyt is a good buddy of mine. We call him NASA from the way he used to count down in Halo. In Call of Duty, he doesn't do it anymore, but it is what it is. So this team's basically the full entire package. How are they going to do, Scott? That's what everyone wants to know, right? I don't fucking have that answer. I have no idea. It's going to really depend on how many hours they put into the game and how much they can learn over this short period of time. We saw how much teams were able to learn, especially like Complexity and TK and really everyone, even the Unite guys, everyone. We saw how much they were able to learn in just a short period of time in 3 weeks. So to see how it's going to work from now all the way to UMG Philly, which is going to be January 4th weekend, January 3rd, whatever the fuck it is, that it could be very scary. So, they do have a learning curve to do, but I think the one thing I've already noticed is that ever since they formed, they have been playing every single day together. And I think that's really good. It's the first time I've seen Pistola hungry since the beginning of Halo 2. Obviously, in Halo 3, he was hungry, but it, just kind of carried over. And then after Halo 3, he was kind of like, it's cool, it's whatever. Halo Reach, I'm just natural, I'm better than everyone. It's not a big deal, I'm just a wizard. And then Halo 4 came out, and he's kind of like, game's fun, kinda. There's no money involved. I can call down ordinances. There's nothing better than calling down an ordinance, getting a jetpack, and whoosh. And by a jetpack, I of course mean thruster, but who cares? The game's dead. Moving forward. God, God, what happened? How that sentence, like I just said, like call down a thruster pack. That's Halo. What the fuck happened? I'm talking about COD. Like, what is this? So wild. Anyways, I think Final Boss. I think one of the coolest things about this squad is the fact that I actually picked Final Boss, and the reason why I think that's cool is because that's basically Ogre 2 putting his legacy on the line and saying, "Listen, we are going to be grinding our face off for this game. Be afraid of us." And I think that's going to be awesome. So other than that, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow I will have a Halo 3 video for everyone. I think we were able to get everything ironed out with the My Nutrition guys and the UGC guys, so we might be actually able to throw up the team passes tomorrow. And I know it's been like forever and a day, but you know what? Fuck you. I hope you enjoyed the Maven story. Other than that, I love you, but I don't love you. Take it easy. Bam! Kick the shit out of that button. Let's go.